Living in Baltimore, Maryland, there are so many good things about living here. However, there are 10 significant bad things about living in Baltimore, Maryland. And what I'm gonna do here in the video today is I'm gonna give you those 10 because look, this is sort of buyer beware. If you're looking to make a move to Baltimore, you must know these things before doing so. So let's jump into it right now. What's going on, everyone? It's Adam Taylor back again with another video all about living here in Maryland. Today, we are looking at Baltimore City and specifically the worst things about Baltimore. For some reason, everybody likes to read and hear about the negatives. So guess what? We're gonna give it to you here today. And I've got 10 things that you gotta know and you gotta be prepared for if you're looking to move here for work, relocate your family, you're coming here for school. These are the things you gotta know. So let's get into it and we'll knock this list out here for you today. All right, first up on the list, it's the big elephant in the room, and you know what I'm gonna say already. It's the crime in Baltimore. It's not good, my friends, okay? And Forbes magazine ranked Baltimore as the 5th most dangerous city in all of the US. And yet, I'm a real estate agent who sells homes in Baltimore, Maryland each and every day. And in a lot of my videos, I'm the one telling you to move here. But here's where I'm gonna go with the crime. It is a big problem. You've got carjackings, you've got murders happening, you've got robberies happening, arsons happening. I can go on and on about the different types of crimes that are occurring. But there is some hope, my friends. But I want to be transparent with you. There are areas in Baltimore that you do not go. I mean, I've even done a video of some of the most dangerous places to live, and pretty much in the majority of them are in the Baltimore city limits. I'll put that video up over here so you can check that out once we're finished here today. But here's where I'm going with this. And I read this when just doing the research to get the statistics for you about the crime in Baltimore. And somebody put out there, Baltimore is like there's islands of safety within the city, meaning that when you're in certain neighborhoods, it's safe. You really don't have anything to worry about. You can go out to your car, walk your dog, go for a run, nothing to worry about. However, if you want to go to another spot in the city that's really nice and you want to go do your shopping maybe, you've got to cross through an area that might not be the greatest. And that is 100% true in my opinion. So my friends, look, we know the crime is an issue here in Baltimore, but if you have situational awareness, you stay in the right spots, I think you'll be okay. The second item that's not so good in Baltimore is the public transportation options. Look, Baltimore is a smaller city. We are not New York, Chicago, LA, Houston. We're not in the same realm as those cities, especially as far as our population goes. And neither is our public transportation. We have a subway that runs one train north and south in and out of the city. We have a light rail system that sort of goes from Baltimore County all the way down to the airport. We've got a bus system that goes in and out of the city in multiple directions. Honestly, that's about it. There is the commuter train, the MARC commuter train, where you can take that right out of Baltimore, go down to Washington, D.C. if you work down there. But if you're solely relying on public transportation and you need to get from one side of the city to the other, I'm gonna tell you it's going to take you some time, because the best way to do that is to hop on an MTA bus or the light rail and then transfer probably to another bus to get you, to a different point in the city. So it's not gonna be super easy like it would be in places like New York and Chicago. All right, here we are at number 3. And my friends, look, I don't like talking about the negatives. I'm having a hard time doing it with this video, but my job is also to be transparent because I want to make this the #1 channel about relocating to Maryland. And I can tell you all the good things about it, but if I don't share the bad, you're not really getting the full scoop of what's going on here. So number 3 is the schools in Baltimore City, the public schools. They're not good. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they're ranked dead last in the state compared to all of the other counties in the entire state. So you can go out to Maryland Department of Education's website, sort of look at what they say about the schools. But in reality, you're going to get a more transparent answer by going to places like niche.com, greatschools.org. And what's going on there is they're ranking the schools independently of what the state says, okay? But in addition to that, you also have locals chiming in about the schools there. So if you have little ones and you want to make sure that they get into a good school, I don't know if Baltimore City is going to be the right fit for you. Now, before we keep going in this list, if this is your first time to our channel, number one, I want to welcome you. My name is Adam Taylor. I run the Living in Baltimore, Maryland channel. And on this channel, we talk about all things Maryland. We talk about living here, working here, chilling here, and most importantly, getting out and having some fun. So if you're interested in learning more, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It's the one that looks like the one over my shoulder here. Don't forget to give the little bell a click. That way you're alerted every time we put out another video, just like this one. Now, as I mentioned all the time, my team and I, we're receiving phone calls, text messages, and emails from folks all over the world looking to make a move right here to Maryland, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move, we'd love to connect with you and see what we can do to help you out in your transition, but we just need one thing from you. That's for you to reach out and connect with us. So please give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email, or better yet, schedule your own private one-on-one Zoom appointment with our team using the link down in the description below, because that way we can jump on a call, find out what your needs are, and get to work on this and find you the perfect spot here in Maryland. So with that said, let's get back into it. I want to give you the rest of this list, my friends. All right, if you're moving to Baltimore, you better bring your checkbook. And here's what I mean by that. There are so many things that are expensive in Baltimore, and tops on the list, quite honestly, is the housing cost in Baltimore. And you may be saying, wait a second, I read that it was a little cheaper to live in Baltimore than some of these other places. Yes, there are houses that are for sale. There are take my keys houses. There are $500 abandoned houses that you can buy, $5,000 abandoned houses, and take them over. Pretty much buy a whole city block if you wanted to in some parts of the city. I kid you not. But is that where you want to live? And if you want to live in a nice, desirable, safe area, you're going to have to write a big check for it. And when I say big check, I don't want you to get scared away here. Yes, we have multi-million-dollar condos that have amazing views. I mean, they are stunning. But you can get into a nice house for $400,000 and feel safe. You'll love your neighborhood as to where you're living. But some of these sites, I've noticed they say that the median sales price in Baltimore is quite a bit lower, in the mid 200s range. And that very well statistically may be the case, because it's factoring all of those rundown houses and the sales of those into the median sales price here. So don't be fooled by the numbers. You got to look and really find a great neighborhood that you want to call home, and then dive in and look for houses in there. Number 5, this is the halfway point, my friends. And I think the next thing you got to be concerned about is the waste management problem in Baltimore. Now, during the heights of COVID, this was disgusting. You'd have alleys in Baltimore that were filled with trash, so much trash that the stinking trucks couldn't get through the alleys. It was like trying to bail yourself out of a snowstorm, but instead of it being snow, it's smelly garbage that people are leaving everywhere. Beer cans, you know, you name it, it was in there. Now, luckily, since COVID, things have improved. The problem is not fixed. And I don't really think it's the city's issue as much as it is the residents. The residents in some of these areas of the city, they don't care. They'll throw stuff out their window right into the road. They do not care. So you really want to be aware of that. But in the nicer areas of the city, people keep their homes up, they keep the streets clean, and it is a pleasant place to live. But if you make a wrong turn, you may end up in a spot that's not so great, and there might be quite a bit of trash around. All right, next up on the list is number 6, and it's the leadership in the city. The political officials that are sort of calling the shots, making the laws, and telling everybody else how to live in the city. It's not great. A lot of these people that have been in the office, let's say of mayor, corrupt, taking bribes, they're stealing from people, they're doing all sorts of stuff. You've got Marilyn Mosby on trial right now for mortgage fraud. She was the city state's attorney. The lead prosecutor in the city is committing mortgage fraud herself. That's not good. And you can look at the other mayors of the past in Baltimore and the stuff that they've gotten themselves into. With that said, though, we got Brandon Scott as our mayor right now. And I have big hopes for Brandon when he initially got into office. And the only thing Brandon has shown me is Brandon's a yes man. He's got people chirping in his ear, do this, do that, and Brandon's just doing it. I'm not seeing Brandon take the city by the arms and just say, hey, this is who we're becoming. This is the stuff we're not going to tolerate. And I'm just not seeing it. So stay tuned. I hope my opinion changes here. And again, this is my own personal opinion. It's not the opinion of anybody else. I just want somebody in the mayor's office that's gonna tackle this crime issue, tackle the drug problem that we have here in the city and the homelessness, and make this city the amazing city that I've known it to be for years. All right, before we jump into number 7, look, if you're finding value in this video, can I ask a quick and small favor from you? Would you mind hitting that like button down below? It's the one that looks like a thumbs up just like this. By doing that, you are helping grow this channel. I want this to be, as I've said numerous times, the #1 channel about relocating to Maryland, and I am determined to do that. So your support means the world to me. Now, I also want you to ask your comments, and I'm saying that kind of tongue in cheek here because guess what? First comment's gonna be, murder more. Why would anyone move to murder more? Put reasonable stuff in there, guys. Look, if you want to dog Baltimore, I get it, and you can do it. But if you want to be rude and things, I'm gonna ban you. You're not gonna see the light of day on this channel again. So have respect, say what you got to say about Baltimore, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter to me, but just keep it classy and keep it clean. There's ways to do that, my friends. So let's get back into it. I want to give you the rest of these not so good things about Baltimore. All right, number 7, the traffic and parking is not fun. There's nothing good about it. And it's only getting worse because the city is developing at an exponential rate, especially in those areas around the stadium, Oriole Park at Camden Yards, as well as Raven Stadium. Now, they just got an allotment of money to improve the stadiums. But part of that allotment of money was to improve the area and build more stuff around the stadiums for folks to be entertained by. And what happens with that is we eliminate the places that you can park and the roadways to get to these places. So where I'm going with it is parking is a challenge. And in some areas of the city, you're going to have to get a parking permit. Costs you a whopping $20 a year to park in zone 8, zone 6, whatever it might be. And this is designed so that you as a city resident can know that you're going to have the ability, notice the word ability, to have an area where you can park. It does not guarantee you a parking spot. The only way to guarantee yourself a parking spot is to buy a place or rent a place with a dedicated parking spot, either having a driveway or you have a parking garage attached to it or place, dedicated lot that you're parking in. So my friends, parking, traffic, it's not good. All right, number 8 on the list. It's the property taxes. Look, I was gonna loop this in when talking about the real estate prices, but I think it needs its own spot alone because let's face it, I'll put up right on here right now the property tax rates for the entire state of Maryland. So you've got Baltimore City and the 26 other counties in Maryland, and you can clearly see, look, we'll put it right down here. It's the highest tax rate in the entire stinking state. And it's like almost double, and it's not good. So if you're looking to purchase a home, here's where I'm gonna preface things. You gotta know what the taxes are now. And you have to look at when the home was last reassessed. I kid you not, I just got a contract accepted not too long ago for Kyle and John. They're moving down to Florida. And the buyer came back to their house to put an offer in because the home was just reassessed, the taxes were just reassessed, and they're reasonable. Whereas this other house that we were competing with, it wasn't reassessed and the taxes were going to skyrocket. So really peel back the numbers and look at what the property taxes are. Now, one incentive that I want you to look at, and we can fill you in on this when we jump on a Zoom call, is to look for properties with a CHAP, C-H-A-P, tax credit. And you can even Google this. This is a credit that the city gave out for those individuals that decided to rehab their homes. And what they would do is they would lock in your tax rate for a period of 10 years. And at the end of the 10th year, you would then pay property taxes going forward based on your new assessed value after you made all of these improvements. So do your due diligence when purchasing a home in Baltimore City and make sure you find out what those property taxes are. All right, number 9, it's the homeless population in Baltimore. And unfortunately, it is growing. And it's the one problem in reality that I've sort of come face to face with when going to Baltimore, whether I'm showing property in Baltimore, whether I'm going to an Orioles or Ravens game, or even taking my kids to a concert at the arena, I've run across homeless folks. And it's no different than any other city. And for the most part, these people pretty much keep to themselves. And they may have a cup there for spare change, asking for food, and your heart feels for them, at least mine does. But the challenge with them doing that, and I feel for them for the position that they're in. It freaking stinks. But it's the other lives that they put in danger that is really concerning to me. And why I'm saying this is a little over a year ago, like a year and probably 2 months ago, 3 firefighters died in the line of duty going into a vacant home that the homeless had come in and basically called it their home and set up shop in there. And I guess it was the winter. They went in, had a fire going to stay warm, and that fire got out of hand, and then the whole place caught on fire. City firefighters went in knowing that it was an occupied place to try and save these lives, and then ultimately it cost them their own when the entire home collapsed on itself. It was a mess, my friends, okay? And nothing that anybody should have to go through, but where I'm going with this is this homeless population here is growing, and with all the development that's coming to Baltimore, more and more homeless encampments are sort of being shut down and shifted, and these people, they have nowhere to go. So you really want to be aware of that. Even those of you that are visiting, this is the one thing you're probably going to come face to face with when moving or visiting Baltimore. All right, our final item here at number 10 is the drug problem in Baltimore City. Let's face it, drugs are in every city, but in Baltimore especially, the opioid problem is huge. Baltimore is the #1 city in opioid deaths. I just read this on Yahoo, an article on Yahoo, and I was blown away because I didn't know that. But it's true, and you hear about it all the time. I have folks that I talk with that are in the police department, you know, they tell me how much of a challenge it is, and it's nothing to joke around about. And my hope and I pray that not only the city starts doing something, just like, hey, we're Baltimore, we don't want this stuff in our communities, and we need to get it out. This could be something that Wes could stand behind and make part of his term as governor of the state of Maryland, that he cracked down on this. And it would be a huge help to the city of Baltimore. So my friends, look, I just listed off 10 things that aren't so pretty about Baltimore. If you got more, drop them down below. Drop those comments down below because, again, I want to give people a true picture of what life is like here, the good and the bad. And, you know, if a move to Maryland is in your future, even after watching this video, again, guys, look, I tell you this stuff so that you know, but it is a great place to live. I've lived here pretty much all of my life, and I love living here. I can move somewhere else. I stay here because it's home. But if you're looking to call Maryland home, again, we want to help you, but we just need one thing from you. We need you to reach out and connect with us. So please, give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email. All the contact information is down in the description below. Or better yet, book your own one-on-one Zoom appointment using that link in the description as well, because my team and I have your back. From Baltimore, down the bay, all the way to the beaches in Ocean City, Maryland, we have you covered. Now, before you go, I want you to check out this next video. I think this is your next step in learning more about life here in Maryland. Until the next video, my friends, take care, stay safe.